Does the latest news about the housing market have you questioning your decision or plans to sell your house in the fall? If you're in that boat, perspective is key. Let's talk about it next on The Jonathan West Show. All right, guys, let's talk about the current housing market. We're going to discuss supply and demand here. Now, while it's true that the supply of available homes has increased this year as compared to the last year, we're still nowhere near the point that we need to be at for it to be considered a normal housing market. Okay, and that would be considered balanced. That would be considered, 6 months worth of inventory. A recent article from Calculated Risk, and I will link that article in the description, gives us a great graph. And I'm looking at this graph right now. It shows us that supply this year has surpassed 2021 by over 30%. But the further back you look on this 3-year graph, compared to 2020, we're just barely 1% above the inventory we had then. And in 2019, we have roughly 40% below the inventory we had then. So why should this matter to you as a seller? Well, it's an issue of supply and demand. When inventory is low, there's still a demand for your house because there just aren't enough homes available for sale. And you might be saying, well, John, homes aren't selling as quickly as they did a few months ago. And you're right. You're absolutely right about that. The average number of days on market is still below, well below the pre-pandemic norms, in large part because inventory is so low. The graph below shows us data from the Realtors Confidence Index by the National Association of Realtors, and I will link this graph as well. This graph that I'm looking at shows us that the pre-pandemic numbers are higher than numbers we saw during the pandemic. That's because the average days on market started to decrease as homes sold at record pace during the pandemic, mostly due in part to the very low interest rates. Now, due to the cool down in the housing market, the average number of days on market has started to creep back up, but we're still far below the pre-pandemic norm. So what does this mean for you as a seller? Well, your home may not sell as quickly as it would have a couple of months ago, but it's still going to sell much faster than normal if you price it correctly. That's key. You have to price it correctly for your market. Not every market's the same. Buyer demand has softened in recent months due to the rise in mortgage rates. But again, perspective is key. Getting 3 to 5 offers like sellers did during the pandemic is just not the norm anymore. Okay. Another graph that I'll link shows us that going back to 2018, prior to the pandemic, it was typical for homes to see roughly 2 to 2.5 offers per listing. As the market heated up, the average number of offers got through the roof. But now they're coming back to that pre-pandemic norm of roughly 2.5 offers per listing. So what's the takeaway for you as a seller? Buyer demand has moderated. That's true. But if you price your house correctly, your home can still sell in a matter of days. But pricing it correctly is key. If you've got questions, reach out to your trusted realtor. If you're in Arkansas, reach out to me. Love to help you out. Guys, have a great day. Have an even better weekend. And I will have another video for you on Tuesday.